All right, what is up, everyone? This time I'm coming at you live from the Liftoff office, which is nice and quiet for me to try this. It's also a little bit quieter in New York, but I thought it made for a good backdrop. Um, yeah, basically, I just wanted to try doing a different medium, so I'm coming at you live in video this time instead of in text. And I was really inspired by this, I think, Norwegian YouTuber I follow who did a 2025 programming projects walkthrough slash review. So I thought I'd do the same with some of my favorite projects since I'm pretty proud of the work I did this year. And yeah, all right, with that, I'll just get right into it. This is my new personal website. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it looks very me. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here going way back to high school. I have my font that I made over COVID in use here, some hardware projects I've made, posters for my pop-ups, other coding projects, all sorts of goodies in here if you're curious. I also, very importantly, have a canon. So if you guys ever ask who I'm reading, who I often think about, that's all in here. This is what's banging around in my head half the time. Well, maybe I wish half the time, but these are a lot of my inspirations, so you guys can check that out. Boom, all right, sick. I'll go to the next one. This is the first project from the bootcamp I was in that I'm pretty proud to share. It's just a series of visualized algorithms. We were trying to understand them better, so a way to do that is by visualizing them. And I thought I went pretty ham in the time we had to do this with animations and styling. Pretty proud of the work I did here. It just kind of walks you through what the algorithm's thinking on my site, if you guys want to play around with it. After that, halfway through, we made a game. This is the first game I made since high school, and it was also the first time we worked together in a group in the boot camp. So we had to learn how to work together. This is Angie trying it out at the end. We made a game called Blob Must Grow, and it was a clicker game. You're trying to eat stuff to grow to the size of the galaxy eventually. This is also still live, so if you want to play, you can try it out yourself. After that, I made my first React Native mobile app, which was pretty sick. I made a little tennis coach where you can give it a focus and it'll spit out this structured session for you with a warm-up, a drill, and then a little mini game. I also made these little badges for different courts in the New York City area, or at least some popular ones near me, that you can kind of spin around, and you get stats on how often you start practice sessions near them or basically play there. So that was pretty sick. And then after that, we're at the end of the program. I made a demo for it called Refract. It is essentially a smart journal that has two main features. I wanted it to feel pretty smooth, so a lot of attention to the ergonomics, but before I get into it, I'm going to go to the demo route. It has two main features. One is when you're writing, you'll see these prods in blue pop up that kind of help you go deeper. So I'll start writing. Hey, thinking about my projects, programming ones from 2025. I think that I actually made a lot of pretty cool stuff. Proud of the learning and work I did. So bam, you can see, not sure what the M is, but you can get these nudges that help you go deeper. I think I'm using maybe a non-supported model anymore in this, but those will come up. You can pin them if you want, get writing flow. And then the second feature are these themes that I basically pull out of what you wrote. Close to the end of your writing, I'll analyze everything that was written and basically process it into these little highlight layers that'll pop up. The secret is that around 20 seconds before the end of your goal is when I run it, because that's on average how long it takes. So if I'm lucky, it feels like magic that right at the end your themes come up. So it took a little bit longer this time, but you can kind of see, oh wow, there's different themes in here of different colors. Pretty cool. This one's still live. I may have to fix it, but you guys can play with it yourselves. After playing with text, I'm going to play with audio. So I tried to kind of reverse engineer one of my favorite podcast apps' coolest features. It doesn't just straight up 2x increase the speed of a podcast if you hit that setting. Instead, it has a smart speed feature, and they do some processing to make it sound better. So I try to do the same here, using 11 Labs voice on any text I pasted it. I thought, oh, why not turn everything into a smart speed podcast? So
The rationalist community.
You know, you can kind of
The rationalist
play around and actually like listen to a few sentences to get the gist here, but you know, that's pretty cool. The voice APIs are cool. And then, gonna refresh this one real quick. The last, but definitely not least project that I made was a custom chatbot, basically. I, for one, very basically fine-tuned a model, like a small open source model on my computer on my own writing, so it sounds like me a little bit. And then two, I gave it access to a ton of facts about me, especially for my writing, through a custom RAG pipeline. So, okay, what does that mean? Basically, you can talk to it and feel like you're talking to Andre. So, you can say stuff like, hi, you know, it's pretty fast. Oh, okay. Hey, is this Andre? And, you know, it knows who it is. It's crazy that I'm talking to myself. You can ask it stuff like, what does Andre write about? Now it's thinking a little bit. The pipeline, you can see tech and society, people, yeah, my personal journey, since I wrote a lot about my career last year. It has access to sources, okay? Where is Andre from? Okay, not bad. It knows that at least I have Romanian family. So sometimes it still hallucinates into thinking that I'm Russian because it must have been trained on so many Russian Andres. But, you know, pretty cool. This one I don't keep up too often because it's really expensive to host this like inference endpoint live. So I don't know if you guys can play around with this one, but yeah, that's basically what I made this year. Pretty proud of the work I made. I already have a few projects that I'm working on for this year, so hopefully I can share some stuff at the end of 2026. And yeah, if you guys have anything that you've made, it doesn't even have to be programming related, that you want to share, I'd love to hear about it. And yeah, peace. Thanks for watching.